What's going on, guys? So Travis here, scientific trainer. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about why about 80 to 90% of people actually regain what they've lost during a fat loss phase within several months of finishing that weight loss phase. Some of the main factors, there's probably about 4 main factors that I would say is the main reasons why people get in this cycle of losing weight and then slowly regaining it back until they're either at the same amount as what they started or possibly even heavier than what they started their weight loss phase at. And this is for, like I said, probably 90% of people, this is the reason why this actually happens. For one, the main thing I believe is education. Usually whenever someone is doing a diet plan, it's going to have fixed parameters. It's going to restrict, most likely, as far as the fad diets that are out there, it's going to restrict foods that you actually enjoy eating, which is also going to get you in a different mindset. You're going to have a different behavior patterns. You're going to resent certain foods because you're going to associate them with fat gain whenever it's completely kind of BS that's actually even a thing. So, mainly it's going to come down to your education and basic knowledge of physiology, how your body responds at different calories, at different macronutrients, what your target macros and calories should be based off of your goal, whether that's in a cut, whether that's in a maintenance phase, whether that's in a surplus. You should always be using science to back your calorie goals, your macronutrient targets, and using that information to cross-reference what your results are each week based off of what you're actually inputting in your body and also, burning through activity. Everything should be as precise as possible. And honestly, not a lot of coaches actually teach their clients how to do this. And that's one reason why, all my clients from day one, whenever I get a client that comes on board with me, I give them those resources. I give them, a resource on how to actually track your macronutrients easily, and also a resource that they can use to input their specific parameters and whatever they want to lose per week or maintain or gain per week, and it calculates out and does all the work for them. So the number one thing is going to be actually getting the knowledge or getting the resources for you to sustain your progress afterwards. Another big thing is also associated with the diet is going to be switching from a deficit, usually a pretty large deficit, to a surplus. And that has to do with the diet, and not only that, but reducing your activity as well. A lot of people, what they'll do is they may be taking in, they may be in a 50% deficit and be doing additional cardio and exercise, and then completely switch with no transition period to eating either at maintenance or a surplus and taking out that cardio. So that makes a big difference in your overall calorie balance. That could shift you from being at a pretty aggressive deficit to a pretty aggressive surplus, and that's why it's, leads to this cycle like I was talking about, where you're, on a diet for 12 weeks and then you gain it back in 8 weeks. And that continues throughout your life. You see this very commonly with majority of Americans. And our diet choices, our habits, that's another big thing is whenever we may be on a weight loss phase, we may be locked in and going 100%, and then after mentally we're exhausted. We've been restricting foods that we enjoy, so our habits turn into what they used to be, which led us to wanting to do a fat loss phase in the first place. So really what it comes down to is not only the knowledge, but actually implementing a sustainable plan that's actually going to be something that you could maybe, use for your maintenance phase to sustain those results, but just increase the food quantity, and implement some things that you enjoy in there, as long as they're in specific parameters that technically will keep you at the weight that you want to be at and the physique that you want to be at. So those are two main things. Like I said, a lot of it comes down to knowledge, and honestly it's not that hard. You know, a lot of trainers make it out to be extremely difficult, and that's how they build their brand. You know, they try to make things seem like they're impossible for the average individual, when in all reality it's not. It's super easy. It really just comes down to dedication, learning, and implementing that education to your future goals. And that's another big thing is if you're ending a weight loss phase, you want to have another goal set. You see this a lot with people that are doing competition preps. They get through their competition, all of a sudden they don't have a determined goal, and they fall off of any kind of structure whatsoever, and you know, they become depressed. They feel like they're unaccomplishing, you know, they don't feel like they're accomplishing anything. You always want to have specific goals set for every single block of your training, every single time of the year calendar. You want to have those dissected into blocks of different phases, and then further dissect those into weekly goals, you know, bi-weekly, monthly goals, things of that nature. But if you want some resources really easily, just email me at thescientifictrainer@gmail.com, and I can send you a ebook on how to track your nutrition easily through an app called MyFitnessPal. And I can also send you the Excel spreadsheet where you can calculate up your macronutrient goals and your calorie goals based off if you want to lose weight or gain muscle or just maintain where you're at. So hopefully you guys can consider some of this information and implement it, and also reach out to me. That way I can help you out. This is the Scientific Trainer, and signing off for now. Have a good one.